I rolled into this overpriced cookie-cutter neighborhood with one true love, my custom matte black McLaren. That car wasn't just a ride, it was my therapy, my escape, my gleaming trophy on four wheels. It didn't blast bass-heavy tunes, didn't roar to life at 3 a.m., and never once cracked 20 muffrig inside the community gates. But somehow, it ignited a wildfire of envy in the heart of our HOA president, Karen, a woman whose grudges could power a small city. Welcome to Midnight Tales, where we serve up the juiciest neighborhood drama with a side of justice. If you love a good showdown, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and let's peel out into this wild ride. It all started with a letter slapped on my windshield, written in the kind of passive-aggressive font only a true Karen could muster. No polite "hey neighbor" vibe here, just pure, unfiltered chaos. "Your car is a threat to our community," it declared. "It's far too fast, intimidating to children, and violates the spirit of peaceful living. You have 2 weeks to remove it before further action is taken." I laughed so hard I nearly spilled my coffee. A threat. My McLaren was quieter than Karen's daily rants about mailbox uniformity. I snapped a pic of the note, filed it in my Karen Chronicles folder, and figured that was the end of it. Surely she wasn't serious. The HOA handbook had 0 rules about specific vehicle types, and if anyone was a menace, it was Karen, barreling through the neighborhood at 50 mph in her Range Rover, yelling at squirrels like they owed her money. Fast forward to day 15. I stepped outside, coffee in hand, ready to admire my car's sleek lines under the morning sun. But what I saw stopped me cold. My McLaren was wrecked, not just keyed or dinged, but full-on Mad Max carnage. Windows smashed, paint stripped, tires slashed like someone had a personal vendetta against rubber. I stood there, jaw on the pavement, as a neighbor shuffled over, eyes wide. "Hey," she whispered, "I saw Karen and the landscaping guy messing with your car last night. Thought it was weird." "Weird? Denise, that's the kind of weird you call the cops over, not whisper about like it's gossip about bad lawnmower etiquette." But I didn't yell, I didn't cry. I smiled. Why? Because Karen had no idea about the ace up my sleeve. A security camera tucked inside my porch light, quietly recording her every move. I strolled back inside, calm as a summer breeze, and pulled up the footage. There she was, in all her unhinged glory, swinging a hammer like she was auditioning for a slasher. Flick! She was yelling about vehicular threats while the landscaper, looking half terrified, followed her lead. I paused the video, grabbed my phone, and dialed my lawyer. Karen wanted me to ditch my car. "Congrats, Karen, you just upgraded me to a brand new McLaren fully loaded on your dime." Karen must have strutted home after her rampage thinking she was some suburban superhero, saving the neighborhood from the horrors of high-performance engineering. Too bad for her, I had 2 things she didn't: legal rights and crystal-clear video evidence. I handed everything to the police, timestamps, footage, and even Denise's belated, "Oh, that was weird" witness statement. The officer reviewing the video couldn't hide his shock. "Wow," he said. "She's not even trying to hide it. No ski mask, no gloves, just Karen in her floral housecoat, swinging a sledgehammer like it's gardening day on a Lamborghini." The HOA scrambled to do damage control, sending me a formal apology letter, unsigned by Karen, naturally. She wasn't sorry. She doubled down, telling the cops she was the victim. "That car's a missile on wheels," she barked. "He ignored my warnings. I was protecting the community." Oh, so vandalism's community service now. She even tried to drag child safety into it, claiming my car was a temptation to speed. That's like blaming a blender for a bad haircut. Karen thought she could weaponize the HOA handbook, but I'd already read it cover to cover, twice, just to be petty. There was nothing about banning specific vehicles. Nada. Zilch. I highlighted the relevant sections and emailed the board with the subject line, "Karen's favorite fictional rules, annotated edition." By the time we hit the civil suit stage, my case was airtight. Property damage, trespassing, harassment, defamation, thanks to her HOA-wide emails calling me a reckless speed demon, and emotional distress. My lawyer was practically drooling. Karen, on the other hand, showed up to court with no lawyer. Just a clipboard, a bad attitude, and a stack of blurry photos of my car parked legally in my driveway. I almost felt bad for her. Almost. When the judge asked, "Miss Karen, are you admitting to damaging the plaintiff's car?" She didn't even flinch. "I was doing what the HOA should have done months ago," she said, chin high. The courtroom fell silent, the kind of silence that tastes like victory. One more hearing, and the ruling would be final. Karen had no clue she was about to bankroll the most expensive temper tantrum in HOA history. The final courtroom showdown was a spectacle. Karen waddled in with the same smug confidence she had when she demolished my McLaren, like she expected the judge to pin a medal on her for neighborhood safety enforcement. I sat there cool as a cucumber, sipping court-approved water like it was a $400 bottle of champagne I'd soon be billing her for. My lawyer kicked things off with a slideshow that could have doubled as a true crime documentary. First slide, a high-res screenshot of Karen mid-swing, hammer raised, looking like a deranged HGTV host. The judge's eyebrow shot up. The gallery murmured. Karen coughed like she could wish the footage away. Then came the emails, glossy prints of her HOA-wide rants accusing me of being a dangerous street racer, a public menace, and, my personal favorite, a fast and furious embarrassment. My lawyer had them printed on premium paper just for flair. Karen tried to object, yelling, "This is out of context." The judge peered over his glasses and deadpanned, "Ma'am, it's your email." When it was Karen's turn to speak, she leaned into her nonsense like it was her life's mission. "That vehicle was a threat to every child within 5 blocks, she declared. "I had no choice. That kind of horsepower shouldn't be near families." The judge, unfazed, asked, "So you destroyed it?" Karen, with a straight face, replied, "I neutralized it." The court reporter stopped typing to gawk. I swear, even the bailiff smirked. Then it was my turn. I laid out the facts. My car never went above 20 mph in the neighborhood. I had noise decibel logs, GPS data, and testimony from neighbors who swore they'd never heard so much as a tire chirp. I ran a full-on Mythbusters episode on her lies. By the time closing arguments wrapped, the judge sighed, leaned back. Fian said, "This is one of the most unusual cases I've seen, but the evidence is overwhelming. Miss Karen, you are liable for full damages." Karen blinked. "Wait, what?" The judge continued. "You will pay for the vehicle's replacement cost, including upgrades plus court fees and a fine for harassment." Her jaw hit the table. I just smiled, already picturing my new ride. 2 weeks later, my new McLaren arrived. Same model, same matte black finish, but with a few extra touches Karen wasn't ready for. Think red calipers that pop like a warning and "Thanks Karen" stitched into the leather headrests. Subtle? No. Satisfying? Beyond words. Karen, meanwhile, was spiraling into financial hell. Replacing my car cost her nearly $300,000 plus legal fees and the harassment fine. Rumor has it she sold her precious Range Rover and took out a second mortgage. Her husband quit the HOA board. Her landscaper ghosted her. Even her poodle developed stress-induced alopecia. Karma was working. Overtime. I took my new McLaren for a spin through the neighborhood at a leisurely 10 mph, blasting the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme through the speakers. Karen stood on her lawn, watering her roses with a dead-eyed stare, watching me roll by like the final boss she'd epically failed to defeat. She tried to save face at the next HOA meeting, claiming she'd acted in good faith and that the court was biased against safety advocates. Nobody bought it. Denise even brought popcorn to the meeting. The HOA voted unanimously to boot Karen as president, and one board member suggested banning her for threatening the peaceful nature of the neighborhood. Poetic, right? I upgraded my security system just in case, but Karen never came. Within 10 feet of my property again. She avoids eye contact like I'm Medusa, cruising in a luxury serpent. I framed her original complaint letter and hung it in my garage, right next to a still of her hammer-swinging meltdown from the security footage. Sometimes I just sit in my McLaren, admiring its craftsmanship and the court receipt, sipping coffee, and savoring the win. This wasn't just about a new car. It was about reminding everyone in this neighborhood that an HOA title doesn't make you judge, jury, and executioner. If you try to destroy someone's property over your own made-up rules, you might just lose everything over a grudge against a gear shift. Thanks for tuning in to Midnight Tales, where we expose HOA tyrants and celebrate sweet, sweet justice. Did Karen get what she deserved? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that bell for more epic showdowns. Until next time, keep your engines revving and your cameras rolling.